I was going to go on and talk a little bit about Twisters, because I know only some of you guys have seen it, but the movie came out like a week ago. Probably horrendous timing because it's going to get squashed by Deadpool and Wolverine. But I thought it was kind of an interesting one because it's a movie that's surprisingly free of the message. Particularly, like the director himself actually came out and said people were expecting this to be like a commentary on climate change and stuff with the formation of more twisters and like more extreme weather. And he just straight up rejected it and said, no, I don't want my film to be like some platform to lecture people on. I just want it to be about entertainment. And so it just kind of leaves all that stuff super vague. And I thought, what a crazy idea in modern Hollywood. I know.
So if that was like the studio, did they really, really want him in control of the project, so they let him make that decision? Or
I don't know if he was specifically chosen for this. I just know that was his mindset in terms of like what they wanted to put message-wise into the movie. It was just meant to be a fun disaster adventure movie that didn't really have a message specifically as much as it's just about the characters trying to do their best to survive in this situation.
I haven't seen it because no Helen Hunt. Like, I'm a Helen Hunt purist, and if she's not in it, then I'm not interested. But is it connected to the first film at all?
Vaguely. So like the most you get is like a couple of references to like that machine Dorothy that like launches all the little sensors up into the tornado, but it never like talks about the events of the first movie or the characters. There's no cameos from the previous actors. It's very much a standalone sequel, really.
Did they bring back the actors for the tornadoes?
Yes, and they're very convincing.
Because of course, broad plot is that the brother of the tornado from the first movie wants revenge, right?
I heard that a voodoo doctor actually like summoned up more tornadoes to go after like the children of the previous adventurers, but no,
there's a black tornado being blamed for all the white tornadoes' problems.
It was a strong female tornado.
No, it's a weird one in that it's a female lead. But she's not a complete unlikable bitch who just sets out to like prove all the men around her wrong. There's her male co-star who's not just a cowardly little asshole who has to get put in his place at every turning of the plot. He's actually kind of a pretty cool guy in his own right. And it felt like this weird throwback to a very different era of filmmaking. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, this is not a 2024 movie in any shape or form. And I don't know how they managed to make it happen like this. Whether this represents like a bit of a change of philosophy for Hollywood, or it's just a one-off, I'm not sure. But it made it a lot easier to enjoy, put it that way.
It's going to depend on how well it does. Because I think the budget's like 155 million, and which is quite a lot. If it does well, you might get more of them, but so far I think it's just a one-off because these things take years, like films, so you don't even know if it will catch on.
Yeah,
and it's years away if you can tell.
I mean, I definitely don't want more movies of the Twister franchise. Like, I don't want Twister 3 or whatever. Yeah, it's like
Twist hard.
Yeah, like the Twisters are like going to take on New York or something. I don't know.
Twist
should put sharks in them.
Twisters.
Yeah. It does turn into a fire tornado at one point because it like
that was Sharknado. They've done that.
Yeah, they've done it. Yeah. But at one point, it rolls over like an oil refinery or something, and it blows up, and so like the flames go up into the tornado, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Are there any
fire tornado?
Any cows flying around? Because I think that was like a feature from the first film. That was like a cow.
Yeah, that was the trailer. That's what everyone got everyone in, wasn't it? The cow in the going through the air.
Not in this one. I don't know. Is there any animals that go flying? There's a hen house at one point that hits their car. Right. Yeah, but
you just see people.
Yeah, a lot of people get sucked up by this thing, and like that's it.
Well, one of my favorite reviewers, Dan Murrell, he used to live in LA. Part of Screen Junkies, and now he does his own thing living in Arkansas. And he was saying that he was surprised that all the LA and New York based people were dumbfounded and confounded by the idea that this film was doing so well. And he was saying that no, that people in the Midwest and so-called flyover country, that they're actually a huge demographic, and this is a film made by people from the Midwest for people in the Midwest. And so there's been a huge surge of turnout from there, and it shows that there's a film that can appeal to their values and their interests. So I thought that was kind of cool.
There's quite a lot of I don't know how you describe it. Like there's a lot of sentimentality towards that culture of the Midwest. Like there's rodeos and stuff going on. Like there's a lot of like, you know, big landscape shots of like
help each other out. Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah.
Of that.
I don't know.
There's definitely that.
I don't know if it's the same for you guys though, but did they think that's just where the audience was? Because that film wasn't even advertised in Australia. I didn't see anything anyway. It just sort of snuck out.
Yeah,
it's like they didn't even think we'd be interested.
It's the same here in the UK. Like it seemed to get released to very little fanfare. But then
I
you
didn't
go watch
believe it was
it
real
like,
for a while. I can't remember who first told me about it, but I was like, so that's a joke. That's not a real film, obviously.
it feels like it
even
should
the
have
poster
maybe
looks like fake and made out, you know?
Yeah, like it seems like a gag, and it's just like, oh, okay, there's like more twisters now, and they're bigger and more dangerous, and like humans have to fight them and stuff. It's not. It's a fairly pedestrian sequel. It doesn't do anything particularly like, you know, inventive or different or crazy or anything. It's just like having a bit of fun with its premise, like fairly likable leads. You know, I think Glenn, what the fuck's his name again?
Glenn
Powell, yeah. Yeah, he's likable enough. He's obviously like got quite a bit of charisma going on. So he's a decent enough lead to carry a film like this. And it's weird because like he is carrying the film, like the actress who's playing the Kate character. Not a huge amount to her, really, in terms of charisma.
Meteorologists seem to be models because you've got the new Superman who's a meteorologist. It seems to be the most attractive science of people. Because like there's no fat girls, there's no ugly men. They're all like models.
I did like the fact that he's a fucking YouTuber of all things as well. Like Jesus. So, and he's not like he's like a morbidly obese 50-year-old guy like in his basement.
It shows how much they must be going into a studio with a sequel, because they must be just going through the VHS bins now looking for films that haven't had a sequel.
Yeah.
Films to get a sequel. But it just shows that, like, and Reaper, did you say it's $100-something million they got? So it's obviously very safe to go in with a sequel idea than an original idea.
Yeah, I mean,
55 for this.
Because Twister's like, I guess the original movie, okay, you know, it was fun enough, but like, it's not like it had a huge cultural impact. It's not like, you know, Alien or freaking Terminator or something like that, like where everyone remembers it. It's like just fairly forgettable, you know, summer.
Well, there was a period of disaster movies because you had Pierce Brosnan and like Lava. I can't remember what the film was.
Oh, Dante's Peak.
That's it. Yeah, you had a few of them, and then you had like 2012 where the entire world just dies somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Roland Emmerich, right? He'd come out every like 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah, like Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow, yeah.
But there was so many.
Really cold for some reason.
There was so many. We would have double ups.
Global warming.
But we'd have double ups. So there'd be 2 movies out about an asteroid killing the world, and then there'd be 2 movies out about earthquakes and 2 movies out about. So there was that many coming out. We were getting doubled up.
Yeah, Armageddon. I still stand by that movie as just being unironically fucking awesome for how stupid it is.
Ben Affleck, when he's talking in the commentary, where he's going, "Why is it easier to teach 2 drillers to be astronauts than it is astronauts to drill?"
Surely you just point at the ground and press on.
Didn't the director tell him to shut up or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost one
3 or 4 years ago where the moon is getting closer to the world and it's destroying the gravity and everything's getting...
Moonfall, right?
Moonfall, yeah.
Didn't that flop?
That was... Yes,
that flopped hard. Yeah.
And you got Independence Day Resurgence he tried to do as well, right? Or
we're definitely on the nostalgia conveyor belt line. We're in the late 90s, early 2000s now, like Independence Day and then Twisters and then Mean Girls and all this stuff.
It's funny you said it because like I was thinking, do you think some of these scripts come along and they're like, oh, you got like a movie with people dealing with Twist? Oh, do we have anything we could just put this into as a franchise? It's like there was that movie Twist. People like that. It's like, yeah, fuck it. Instead of calling this movie whatever we were gonna, making it a new franchise, may as well staple it onto something people knew from ages ago. Maybe like I assume that's possibly how it goes nowadays because they really are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
They have these ideas
premise
for set pieces, and then they just think, yeah, we can set all that in that franchise that hasn't been around for 20 years.
Yeah, because like they would have been better off just making a new movie, I think, in this case, because the whole premise involves them doing exactly what they did in the first movie. It's like there's a twister, you need to get basically in its path and plant a machine that allows us to like scan the inside of it and stuff and learn more about it. And it's like, well, I thought that was the whole point of the first movie. Like, how much more do you need to learn about these things?
Yeah, you get tons of warning because like they're just sitting there and there's just no warning. A twister, which you'd feel the wind from miles away, suddenly just tears through the rodeo.
There's a really frustrating bit where like these scientists are doing their mission where it's like we're gonna get in front of it and plant our machines so that we can then like get all the data we need about it. And they're about to do it, and then they're like, this twister's heading for fucking no-name town in the middle of Hicksville fucking county. We need to go there and help the people. Like, really? Do we need to break off this like super important thing that we're doing right now? Like,
just phone them.
Yeah, it's like, how useful do you think like 3 people in a pickup truck are going to be to like a town that's got hit by a twister? But it's like, no, we have to go there. We have to go there. It's super important that we have to help them. So like, they abandon everything and just go there instead.
But no one
and
can
it's
see
just
this
to draw the movie out a little bit
twister.
longer.
This fucking massive twister no one can see coming. They have to wait till they get warned.
Reaper, you're doing that in your accent, saying, just phone them. Like, you don't do the obvious thing. That was beautiful.
And yeah, there's a bit of they have to find a way to defeat the twisters as well.
Well, did they try shooting it?
I thought they might try that. Like, it being America, like they'll just like launch like missiles at it or something.
If the bullets spun round and hit them, went, oh no, it's using our guns against us.
I think that was actually that was a joke in I want to say Don't Look Up, because that film was kind of a mess. But when the meteor's coming to Earth, I think Ron Perlman's character goes outside of his house with his gun and just starts shooting at it, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah. In this case, it's like some weird, I don't know, it's like a polymer material or something that apparently absorbs huge amounts of moisture, because apparently twisters are driven by moisture in the air. So if you can absorb that, it'll basically kill their momentum, and it'll just collapse.
What happens if it hit a giant sponge factory?
Yeah.
You know,
everyone get your sponges out.
I did think like when it hit that oil refinery and it's basically on fire, it's like, well, surely fire like gets rid of moisture pretty quickly. Crazy.
They should have had a twister that was down on its luck and is feeling tortured about itself, but at the very end it comes back and it fights on behalf of the good guys.
It has to believe in itself, yeah.
Well, I mean, just for what you said, Drinker, it's like, oh no, it's hit the oil factory, then the fire factory, now it's in the razor blade factory. Oh god, it's in the acid factory. Now it's really bad.
It's hit the bullet factory and it's just like shooting like bullets everywhere.
They all get happy because it's heading towards the mattress factory, and then it switches to the other side of the road where the bullet factory is.
It's heading to the cream cheese factory. I don't know what. Will this be bad? I don't know.
The fatties run out and try and grab it.
It's going to be messy no matter what. But
this was like the pillow factory. They're like, well, I mean, you know, it's a pillow factory.
You could have had a boogie cameo. You go, quickly, get under his tits.
Or, you know, like, yeah, we have to like anchor yourself to Boogie because like no tornado, even an F5 can't lift him because he's got too much mass.
And even if it does, he can flap his titties to fly where whatever direction he wants.
It's like Dumbo.
I am never going to get that image out of my head now, thank you.
They analyze the tornado. The tornado has tornado cancer.
We use like metal poles. You use them as like a gazebo. You just have his giant body stretched across you. Everyone under him, quick!